Hi folks, and thanks for joining me. I had one of my viewers on the previous video inquire about the WaterSlide decal, the magic keyboard. And again, it was really the contrast or the tone and how the yellow or gold stood out. So I wanted to show you the process that I followed. A couple different methods and procedures that I practice with. I'll just show you the final that I used. Again, you can see I've got my WaterSlide decal. You can use any program of your choice to create the font of choice. This one's somewhat scaled. It might be just a tick larger than the original that was on the receiver itself, but I think that's just fine. You can see up next I'll apply multiple coats of acrylic sealer. I'm using a matte finish because this is really glossy. And I'll also try to use just a little bit of steel wool to go over this to kind of dull it down just a bit before we apply it to the wood itself. You can see the background itself is clear and just the outline is in black. And then I'll use a pen to hand draw the color in. That's how I was able to achieve the more detailed background yellowish gold color. So let me go outside, spray the acrylic sealer. We'll let this dry, and then I'll come back in, grab the gold marker that I used, and show you the steps that I used to recreate the WaterSlide decal. Thanks for viewing. I believe the acrylic sealer, the matte finish, you can see that I applied is dry enough to go ahead and proceed. I'm going to take some tape and tie this print down nice and flat and tight so it doesn't move on me. And I'm going to just take some 4/0 steel wool, go over the top of it. That'll give me some indication, again, if the sealer is dry enough to proceed. I'll start here just outside the image itself. Try to scuff this up just a little bit so it's not quite as reflective when we apply it to the wood itself. All right, I'm going to take a chance now and go over the magic keyboard, applying just very little pressure. All right, let me remove the fragments from the steel wool. I tried various markers that I had on hand, and I got the best results with this particular one. Again, it's more of a metallic gold. I'll put a link to it. I think I picked these up on Amazon. I've got 3 or 4 different type of gold markers, but this one seemed to give me the best results. Let me shake this up and we'll come back and I'll try to apply it again. My hand's not near as steady as it was back in the day. So, you know, the results vary by application and time. We'll see what happens here after a couple cups of coffee. And I'm going to just lay down a couple test strokes. Again, it's hard to do this on camera, but I'll do my best to demonstrate the process, and then, you know, numerous tries you can probably replicate this particular effort. Okay, that's the concept of following this particular process. using this marker, let me let this dry, and then I'll go back and apply 2 or 3 more coats of the acrylic sealer, and then use the 4-aught steel wool, go back over the water slide decal. I'll cut it out, then we'll apply it to a piece of wood and see what it looks like. In a snippet, after applying the acrylic sealer, you can see the light reflecting in the background. Everything is still wet. Let this dry for an hour or two. Then we'll come back and, again, as I mentioned, try to apply the water slide decal. With the humidity being so high today, even though I'm in the shop with the dehumidifier, I'm going to go ahead and give the acrylic sealer another 30 to 45 minutes to dry. Then we'll try to apply it to the piece of wood veneer that has some toner lacquers applied, very similar to the Stewart-Warner, and just see what the contrast looks like. And I've got it cut out, and on purpose I left it just a little longer on one side so we can get a better idea of the sheen itself of the water slide decal. A couple different products I've used in the past. The micro set, it softens the decal as it states, and that can be applied first to your substrate and then apply the water slide decal. In my case, I already had some clear coats of lacquer applied, so I did not use the micro set. However, I did use a little bit of the micro sole to go over the decal, a couple applications, and let that dry before applying more coats of clear lacquer. I've got some lukewarm water, and I'm going to just try to hold on to the edge here. Leave this in here for about 10 to 15 seconds. Let me apply just a little bit of the microsol over the top of it. So there you have it. Again, not my best penmanship. Again, I was doing this from a distance of maybe 12 to 18 inches away. I needed to be probably 6 to 10 inches away for my eyesight. But it shares the concept with folks out there if you want to replicate this process. I appreciate everyone out there watching and following along. Everyone, again, take care and stay well.